Abhay, let's start with you. What's one achievement in your career you're most proud of and why?
I could sense that, you're going to pick up some of these questions which are not going to be easy. You should have given us some homework also, but unfortunately, it's all surprising out of the board, right? I think if you ask me, and this is probably true for everybody, whoever survives, doing sell-side investment banking for 23 years, I think I'll be proud of that, and they should be proud of that achievement. So I think it is very important for, people ask sometimes, this question, that what is considered success. Obviously, deal closers are very important as you go forward, but I think Mahesh also pointed out, and people will agree that, this is a business which is very long-term in nature, and that's the most basic aspect of it. You build trust over a period of time, you build relationships over a period of time, and you have to be at it over a period of time to ensure that you are there to taste the success. And therefore, sometimes people have career planning. It's like, okay, get into sell side, try to move to buy side, and figure out other ways, or move to corporates, do other stuff, etc. But I feel that, investment banking can be a long-term, sort of a career choice. And if you are there for long, and you have more gray hairs as you spend more time, it works out, and it works out well.
So 20 years into being able to survive it, that in itself is an achievement. Divyansh, what do you think? What's the one thing that you're most proud of?
Personally, for me, becoming a partner in a Big Four, I see that as my biggest achievement. I started my career from a non-deal background. I started as a tech services professional, worked there for like a few years, then moved into the consulting space, and then jumped onto the M&A space, right? So I've seen different types of work, I've managed different types of clients, and when all of that came together and helped me become a partner, to me that was the best moment in my professional services career.
Awesome. Divyansh, when tech integrations get messy, since you were in tech from the beginning, how do you decide what to tackle first?
It depends on where it gets messy. Where does it start, right? So the key towards a tech integration or a tech program is that you spend a lot of time in planning. If the planning is right and you have thought through all the scenarios where it could go wrong, a lot of effort is saved in troubleshooting because you have thought through those scenarios. But as Mr. Murphy says, things will go wrong and things do go wrong. Now, I'll take an example. I was helping one of the FMCG players. They had acquired a consumer healthcare business in India, and we were helping them in the day one readiness for the integration aspects, right? The day ones was supposed to happen on 31st of March 2020, right? A lot of activities were planned. On the last couple of days, people had to go to factory sites, do some stuff. The board meeting had to happen on their headquarters, not far away from here. And 20th of March, lockdown was announced. What do you think we could do? Right, so that was something which came as a spanner. So then we went back to the drawing board. What can we do? Can we help them push this day one? Should we postpone it? Is the client okay to move it? How much what's the impact? Right, so all these aspects came in, and then we had to work around. So I think if we have done a lot of time in planning. We understand the nuances that will help us, identify the alternate solutions fairly quickly. And I think that's where I go.
Abhay, you've executed carve-outs where multiple fires were burning. What tactics do you use to align stakeholders and get deals across the line?
Sorry.
So when things go wrong in deals, what do you do to make sure that people still get across the line?
First of all, you have to pray. Okay, so that's on the. I mean, and I think somewhere people already talked about it. To depend a lot on your instincts. Okay, beyond numbers and analytics and all those stuff. Because what we are dealing with is something which is, for any entrepreneur, equity is the most valuable asset that they would have in general, right? And as a reason, it's also a very highly emotional sort of topic from their perspective. So therefore, beyond the numbers, beyond credentials, trust and faith also becomes very important. Okay, and if you are able to have that within the deal process, then things will go up and down for sure. Okay, I have not seen anything happening smoothly over my last 23 years. So if there is a deal which has happened very smooth, then
Something's off.
Something is off. Okay, and I have not seen it, to be honest. There would be something, at some level. Mandates may come easy, then the process may become complicated. Then by the time of it, even after signing of deals, okay, things can become complicated. You never know, right? Subsequent conditions precedent could be something which is very complicated, and it doesn't happen. Or COVID happens, okay, and the deals are put on hold after signing. Anything can go wrong. So something has to go wrong within the deal. You have to be prepared for it, and therefore you have to be mentally strong. So I think if you follow the rest of it properly and there is a relationship going, I think one can figure it out over a period of time. And sometimes you don't have to act. I think if something goes wrong, just give it some more time. Okay.
Problem solve themselves.
The problem solves. As I said, a lot of it is emotional. Okay, more than anything else, it's all emotions, and therefore you have to give it some time to sort of get it digested by both sides, and then wait for the right time to initiate discussions. Sometimes too much action is also negative for the deal. So therefore, you have to show that patience, show that maturity, and give it some time.
Abhay, back to you. In acquisition and integration, what principles do you rely on to keep operations stable? So you talked about patience, but is there anything else which makes sure that at least there's a big pipeline? If the team is not working on one deal which they're very dependent on, there are 10 other deals that they're continuing to push forward.
Absolutely. I think that's the, for any investment bank, you mean to say internally for us, right?
Yeah.
I think for any other investment bank, I think right from early days, I think the first thing that is taught is don't get too emotionally. You have to be giving your best, but don't get too overtly dependent on a single deal. Because our business models are anyways filled up with all these holes, right? So you never know, someday it goes off. And if you're too dependent on anything, one single deal or two single deals, if things have to go wrong, it will go wrong within those two, for sure.
What's a good year though? How many deals should be?
So it depends on the size of the team, okay. But typically, what I have seen personally as somebody who's, let's say, having about 5-7 team members to report to for one sector and another, let's say 3-4 for another sector, I think 3 to 5 transactions within a year, okay, is a pretty good number. It's a very good number to close, okay. So for example, healthcare last year 3, and tech couple of them. So there were 4 or 5 transactions that we could close.
Divyansh, how is AI changing the way dealmakers anticipate or mitigate risks?
Well, I think it's changing the way we work on transactions, the way we approach potential targets, the way we screen targets, the way we conduct due diligence, the amount of data that we have to analyze, navigate. Those methods, those timelines are changing as we speak. Even to the aspect of post-deal elements, right? The bridge between creating an M&A case, the synergy estimations versus actual realizations, right? Now you're also getting automated suggestions on how you can actually go ahead and achieve those synergy estimations and realizations, right? So it's AI is right now as we speak. I can see it impacting the entire deal life cycle, right from your initial screening till the actual execution. What I would say is, AI is not replacing what we are doing. AI is essentially coming in and aiding or helping out on how we are doing things, helping do things in a faster way, maybe in a much more optimized way. I read this quote somewhere. AI will not be replacing you as a person, but AI will replace you with someone, with someone who knows how to use AI. Right. So I think as M&A professionals here in this room, it's very important that we invest time in upskilling ourselves, understanding what are the technologies available. I personally have invested in some of the tools to just explore and understand. My organization provides access to something like Copilot, or we have our internal due diligence, AI-based diligence tools, and target screening, company profile generator, etc., etc. Those tools we have already built internally. But what we are also now exploring is, when you look out, there are tools like GenSpark.
What's that?
So it's a it's a Chat GPT plus. You can create amazingly well presentations by just giving or pasting your data. You can give a template and then it will generate a PPT in the desired format. Even if you don't give a template, you can tell, I want something in a white background with blue text or this text. Amazing. Similarly, you can create Word documents. Similarly, you can play around with data in Excel, right? So there's no limit to which you can do. Now you can also create your videos. And I haven't tried that, but and then this is just one type of tool. There are multiple other tools which are now available. There's a Gamma which you can use to create PPTs, and a lot more. Similarly, I know I work with a couple of private equities. I know they're also working on using some of these tools, right from the portfolio management aspects, right from the pipeline aspects, how we can leverage the tools to come up with ideas. Okay, maybe this company is up for a stake sale or potential transaction. And so that's how AI is getting into each and every part of the life cycle that I see. Interesting times ahead. I think I would strongly suggest everyone who's here deal professionally to just invest some time, understand how you can use AI to make your life easy, better, surprise your bosses with interesting outputs, interesting analysis. That always helps.
Is security an issue here? Because everyone's using ChatGPT, are they using take proprietary data out? And I think that's one of the biggest worry. And Gemini is doing a better job there, but it's not as good a model. What are your thoughts there?
No, absolutely. And considering we are in for an M&A cycle, the data is of course important. So while you could use if your company is providing some resources, you can certainly use it internally, but pasting the data, proprietary data outside in tools like ChatGPT or even others is not a good way of doing it. And I wouldn't suggest anyone to actually paste proprietary data outside. But then, you can use Copilot, for example. That also enables a GPT-5 element now. Right? So within your organization, you can leverage the power of GPT within Copilot. So that's a possibility now. So your data doesn't go out of your organization, but you still use the GPT-5 model. So that's one way of doing it. Or you can set up something in-house. The other way is also if you can mask some of the data or sanitize before you ask GPT a question. That's one way. But then there are no safety nets out there. So that's on yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, last question. Abhay, what do you think in the next 5 years is going to be the industry with the most transactions?
Do you want me to disclose it yet?
Yes.
No, but I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure. But what I think is, I think tech overall will lead. Okay, and that's my guess. Probably it's as good as anybody's guess, but tech is definitely going to lead. Okay. And beyond tech, probably healthcare, and that's where both places I put my hands up.
Which is where your two teams are.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Sorry, I mean, just to qualify that, I mean, tech is a pretty wide subject in itself, right? So I think, I mean, I'm including consumer tech, platform kind of companies, etc. within that. So if somebody focuses on that, you have to obviously dissect. I think there'll be enough deals to be made. And I mean, 5 years are good for investment bankers, whether you are in any sector, it doesn't matter. As long as we are active, we are focused, I think we'll be able to do well.
so takeaways, execution and trust still rule deals, but AI is quickly becoming the co-pilot.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll just add to what he said. Tech certainly yes. Increasingly, what I'm also seeing, as part of a pre-deal work, a lot of companies are going in for bolt-on acquisitions of, say, specific AI capabilities. Right? There's a startup which claims, okay, we are the solution for a procurement transformation through our AI proprietary tool, and obviously they'll ask for an amazing valuation. But then, is it actually using something based on AI? Is it just a window dressing, but at the back end, maybe it's a simple element without an AI, right? So these are some of the things which are coming up. And while organizations, private equities look to invest in these areas, I think there is a lot of focus on validating these aspects before you actually put in your money into these products. I'm right now working interestingly for another VC. They've put in money in an online travel portal, and the portal claims that we generate AI-based itineraries, etc., etc. But when we went in and checked, essentially it's something happening manually rather than being AI, right? So you advertise AI, but then at the back end there's no AI. So I think these are some of the things, especially in the current deal scenario, the M&A professionals should be kind of careful about.